Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Thomas
And this is Mary Thomas
of Thomas and Thomas PC, also known as
the Sales Tax Sisters. And we're going to talk about something that is so fun today. And, well, it's fun for us. And, well, you're going to understand why I'm saying that in a minute, because the topic is, just because you got a no tax due audit in one audit period does not mean that you're going to get a no tax due audit result in another tax period. There are some things that people don't, that some of our clients talk to us about that they don't fully understand. And so we're going to just dive in, and I'm going to do the first thing up that comes to my mind.
Go ahead.
That audit result is not a blessing from the controller that you did everything right.
And that's even on in the audit package. When they send you the final schedules and everything else, and the letter about the audit is complete and da-da-da, they have it in there. This is not, their opinion about whether or not your system is correct.
Yes. I mean, the thing about it is that when you have an auditor come out, that person's on the ground looking, but there's no guarantee that person's going to catch
everything.
There are instances in which, and we've seen a couple, where the previous audit came back clean, and this audit is an absolute nightmare, and the business owner will come and say, we had a clean audit 4 years ago, and we just have to sit there and look at them. And it could be a couple things. One of them, that previous auditor did not catch this issue.
They didn't catch that area of non-compliance.
This auditor did.
Yes, and you can't do anything about that. You can't say, well, I relied on the previous audit, and no one made adjustments, so I thought what I was doing was right. That's cute. It will not fly in terms of the audit that you find yourself in right now. So that's one thing.
That's one thing. The most that will come of that is if you've been filing your returns on time for the entire audit period, you can ask for a waiver penalty associated with that. And the states, and particularly I'm talking about Texas, they have gotten really picky about the waiver penalty because if you have been filing on time for all periods but one, they'll give you the waiver penalty for all the periods but the one.
Yeah.
That's something that we've seen. But getting back on topic, because I went down a rabbit hole.
It's okay.
Another thing that we'll see is people will say, well, we had a clean audit 4 years ago. And we're like, yeah, but the law changed in, 2020, whatever. The law changed. And so when the law changed, your responsibilities as it relates to this changed.
And that's especially true when you are doing a service. Because services can be taxable in one instance and then not taxable in another. So it's tricky.
Or you've changed what you did.
Exactly. That's another big thing.
You've
added another line of business, and you are using the taxability rules as it applied to what you used to do, or the first thing that you did, and not applying it to this new line of business that you are doing now.
Exactly. And one thing that's tagging people a lot, depending on what state you're in, because states treat it differently, is software as a service. I mean, that is wonderful. That's a wonderful idea for residual income, to have it to where people pay you monthly for access to a system that you are maintaining and taking care of. It's a wonderful income stream. But the taxability of that income stream may be completely and totally different than the taxability of the stream that's associated with you issuing a report, a paper report, or a disc with the information on it. The taxability can be very different. So you kind of see when you change or when you add to what you're doing, you could be changing your tax responsibilities. In a lot of instances, you are. And so
another instance of that is if you are here in Texas, if you are renting equipment to people, and then you decide instead of just renting equipment, you are going to actually do taxable services.
You're going to provide the service. That's a different tax treatment, and it can be expensive to find that out within the context of an audit.
Exactly.
So, or if in one audit period, another trigger would be if you decide, and we did this video a couple times ago, if you decide to upgrade your systems, well, software, depending on where you are, may be taxable. How much did you pay for that software? And is the implementation, is the integration taxable? That can be a lot of money. Did you build a building? I mean, if you built a building in this audit period, but you weren't building one in another one, I mean, you was just paying rent to somebody. If you took on a big expense in this audit period that you did not have in another audit period, that could be another reason why your numbers don't look the same.
Exactly.
So when you get audited, just know that just because you had a no tax due the last time doesn't mean you're going to have one this time. And you may not have changed anything. The auditor may come in and see something that's completely different. And we've seen that. And as upset as the client is, we just have to look at him and tell him, you got a freebie on the last one.
Audit, and it just caught up with you on this.
It just caught up with you on this one. And that's not to say that auditors don't make mistakes the other way, where they try to tax you where it's really not taxable. And we talked about this in a previous audit video too. What you want to do is, when you're being audited, stay on top of what this auditor is seeing and be ready to listen to where they're coming from, so that if there is a challenge to be made, you're challenging it based on either a fact, misrepresentation, or misunderstanding, or point of law. And just make sure you've got all your ducks in a row. But understand that going in and saying, well, I got a no tax due before, that's not going to save you as it relates to the assessment of the tax.
Yeah.
Okay? So with that, I think this one's over.
I do too.
Right.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for clicking on the video, for staying with it all the way through. If you like it, please thumb us up. If you are not a subscriber, why not? Please subscribe to us and hit the notification bell so you'll know when we upload something.
And with that, we're going to say over and out. You guys take care, okay?
Bye.